Hi, and welcome to this next conversation. My name is Desire Derek Ford Mugumisa, Head of Corporate Affairs here at Next Media. But today it's really a personal conversation and an appreciation for this man that we're going to be talking to today. I have not briefed him at all on what it is we're going to talk about, and you will understand why when we get into it. So, Samson Kasumba, he's the guy who does the news, has kids that come to the Next Media Park almost every day looking to talk to him. He's a guy who, when we get guests that are CEOs or whatever, they are asking about, oh, so this is where Samson Kasumba reads the news or something like that. And that is what he's built for the public. Sam, how are you doing?
Very well, thanks. How are you?
I get to call you Sam, and
Absolutely.
I'm sure there are a couple of people who call you Sam.
It's a very small group.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to find out what that makes you feel like when someone just says Sam.
No, people who know me well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I find it the most affectionate way of referring to me.
Ah, okay. Yes. Amazing.
I was very surprised when the person in charge of the people who arrested me called me Sam. I felt comfortable.
That arrest, that was never answered.
Yes,
well,
I felt because it meant he knew me. Yes, and he was being affectionate, which is strange. Somebody's arresting you and is calling you Sam. People who arrest you never call you Sam. So go to Gende.
Yes.
Yeah.
Toka, something like that.
So Sam, you're under arrest.
Amazing. So I want to have, because this conversation is very much tied to that, I want to start this at Urban TV because that's the first time I ever got to meet you as a colleague then. Still a colleague, but
then both.
You. Oh yes, and it's also connected to that. But then you had never been on TV.
No, never.
You were a guy who was starting out on TV at what was more than 40 years of age, if I remember right.
Yeah, I started. I started television when I was 39.
39,
yes.
About to make 40.
Yes,
so
about to make
Urban
40.
TV, that. And I bring this up
yes.
because we recently got reports that that is coming to an end, that chapter of that brand is coming to an end.
Sadly.
It is quite something. How do you reflect on your career and how it has gotten to come to this level? Urban TV starting at 39, I started at 16. So you can imagine, you started at 39 and everything has happened for you after when many of us should have said, I think if I get to 39,
it's first of all, I think it's an advantage to start late because for me, this is the end, not a means to. And that's why I feel so bad when people leave television. But then eventually you understand that, okay, fine, I started late. They're going to do things I had finished by the time I came. So I get that bit. But I think that I am leaving a time of my life. There are many things I did, and now in hindsight I understand that I did them because I wanted to get to what I am doing right now. I like talking to numbers of people. I am a communicator. Urban TV came at the right time because it was an all-time low. I had been jobless and I'd lost a massive platform to engage with people. I'd been forced to leave the lecture room. And also I think it was about that time I'd been defrocked, so I couldn't preach, but I like talking to people. So Urban TV came at the right time and gave me a platform. But even then, I did not know that my career in television would be as successful as it is in such a short time.
Yeah.
I've been lucky that Urban started me right, and then somebody picked me. I never asked for a job here. Somebody who thought I was doing very well picked me and said, you can go to a better platform. I said, no, I'll take it to an individual. So they brought me to Kin's office. So that's how I got. And then Kin said, I had always wanted to hire you, but they told me you don't move. I don't believe in jumping from job to job. And that's why I think I know. I think that what I wanted to say is I know that should this come to an end, that is it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So Teddy Yom for me that you will hear me going into politics. You will not hear me going into PR. I did that with Interreligious Council and I found out I am terrible as a PR person.
It's not an easy job, honestly, yeah.
I have very strong views, as you probably know. I'm very opinionated. That's also why I can't do politics. I can't become a member of a political party. I cannot work for a political party because you are bound by corporate responsibility. You see,
Which also means there are only so many brands you can work with, because again there is also quite a bit that they need to accommodate.
Yes, and here is a place that I think was just built for the kind of person that I am. I don't even know how Kin manages me.
And we're going to talk about just that just shortly.
So, in a nutshell, I am humbled by how the group here and the group there have been able to produce the kind of person that I am. As you know, when I was anchoring at Urban TV, the senior anchors were Chamagero and Romeo Busiku. It is Joachim Buembo who said, Akatugezeko, try me. And there were a lot of reservations then. So at Urban TV, I was never really an anchor, a news anchor. But when I landed here, Kin was very sure. He said, you'll make a good anchor. You'll also, then he sent me off to the Morning Breeze. And I'd never done. Now, what many people don't know is I came to television never to do news and never to do talk shows. I started television by doing under scrutiny because I have a very deep theological background. So I was doing this show that was questioning the linkage between our religious beliefs and our jobs. If you believe in thou shalt not kill, how can you be, and you're a serious Christian, how can you be an army man? So I wanted to know, how does that work get into somebody's head? How can you believe in that shall not kill and hold a gun? Now it is Urban TV where I was pushed against my will on the morning show to discuss politics. Because I hate politics. But I mean, I needed a job, so they pushed me there. Then before I knew, they pushed me to do the, what did you call the program in the news? It was called the debrief. It was called, it also had brief.
I remember that.
But it was
I can't remember exactly.
I was pushed to do this. When I get here, and I had to get myself in a crash program to learn our politics and then read about it and understand it. Now, contrary to what many people think, I don't enjoy politics. I'm not even part of it.
That I know, and I sometimes sit and read some of your tweets and I'm thinking,
now,
how did we get here?
The reason I am able to talk about it and tweet about it freely is because I'm not part of it. I think that our politics really are two bad sides of the same coin, for which I don't have a choice. I think we just need to get rid of the entire coin. Some people think one of the sides is better than the other. No, we don't need the coin. Let's get rid of the coin and start afresh.
I guess it will be like one day when you leave the media. Of course, clearly, this is the end for you. So that will be retirement.
It is. Yes.
When you retire one day from the media, what is that legacy you envision yourself having left? What does the end look like? What is that thing that Desire says about Sam outside this that I just shared with you?
Naive as I may sound, it's my hope that will help us to think critically. It's very painful that a politician can stand up and say, I am going to change this country, and we believe them without asking them how. Mm-hmm. It's painful. How can you say, I'm going to change this country, I'm going to build schools, I'm going to build roads, I'm going to do everything, but we will not borrow and I will reduce taxes?
Sounds like a script at every rally I've been to.
Let's ask you how. If you're telling your family that, look, I'm going to take you to very good schools, I'm going to buy a car, I'm going to buy, but you're unemployed, your kids should say, but Daddy, how are you going to do this? Mm-hmm. They shouldn't be excited and say, Daddy's going to do it. Yes, you might be their dad, but one kid should be able to say, Daddy, but you don't have a job. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Where is this money going to come from? That is, for me, my role in the media. Politicians don't like it, but I want to teach Ugandans to pause away from the emotions and start to ask, how are you going to do this? That guy can't do what he's saying. There is no way how you can reduce taxes, not borrow, but get onto expansive national infrastructure projects. Where's the money going to come from? Government either makes the money or it borrows it, or gets loaned it. But there's no free cup of coffee. If somebody's going to give you money as a grant, they have something they're looking for. So I hope I teach Ugandans how to think critically, because the truth of the matter is, and I go back to what I said in the beginning, that it is two sides of the same coin. Whether they are this group or that group, and you believe in both, they are the same coin. They are both our problem. And I want Ugandans to learn that they are both our problem. They're just two sides of a coin we don't need. We need to get rid of the coin and find paper money. So for me, let's start to see them that way. When both of them can't corner us, we will have freedom for the very first time. At the moment, we think one group is better than the other. That's wrong. They are the same. We need to find a day when we say, get rid of both, get freedom, so that they both can't corner us. Now they play us by suggesting we are better than those. No, we are better than those. And we believe it. I don't. And I interact with all of them, but I interact with them knowing, Bonaba Limba. But they are lucky that our population hasn't learned to critically think. So they are vulnerable and susceptible to being lied to.
So that is the legacy you want to leave behind.
Yes, I want to
us to start thinking.
Yes, think critically and ask the questions that need to be asked. How? I tell my daughters, I want to raise girls that when a man says, you know what, take off your underwear, she'll ask, good idea, but why?
Oh my goodness.
But why?
Samson,
so because of ABC and D, okay, does it have to be today? Why not 2 years from today? If you raise children who can be able to think that way, I don't tell my children sex is bad, because I have children. Sooner or later they'll find out if it is bad, but you're having it. So I tell them sex is one of the best things there is, especially if the person involved knows what they're doing. But there are consequences.
This is a tough conversation.
If you're not ready for the consequences, avoid it. And at that point we agree, because we're having a proper honest conversation.
It's a conversation that I dread, Samson, because.
But you have to have it.
I have 3 daughters as well, so both of us are girl dads.
Yes. And we have 3.
Yes, both of us have 3 girls.
But you must have it.
And my oldest is 6 now, so I still have some time to go. But I guess I'll have it after
You-
all.
yes,
I mean,
and-
you are here. We'll talk.
And the reason you should is because there's nobody who will love them more than you do. I've told my daughters, I don't dread that you make mistakes. But if you make them, come to me before you go to anybody else, because nobody loves you the way I do. And we'll see how to deal with the mistake. I don't want to hear your mistakes from a third party. I love you enough. Walk to
find
me
a
and
way.
tell me, as bad as it is, Daddy, is this bad? We cry together and then we walk through it. Anybody else will not give you the kind of love and support that I am your dad. And remember that. Take a huge breath.
Always something to talk about with this man. But as for the purpose of this video, as I wind this one up, you've also found yourself in the murky waters of, there are not journalists. There are people on TV and all of that.
And I'm very comfortable with that. I don't want to study journalism. Because education gives us something. Nobody ever talks about what it takes away.
Another Samson theory. Let's hear it.
Education takes away something. Yes. We think the way we think because education got us to think that way. But that's a box. There's something else outside the box. Lawyers see through the prism of law, and their world is law. But there's a world outside the law, and it exists. I see the world through theology, but there's a world outside. They are atheists. So I've lived with journalists enough to know that I don't want to think like them.
You're saying this at the next media practice. Quite a number of them.
No,
Where
I
called you from?
My CEO thinks like me. I'll tell you, for instance, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
They don't believe that positive things is news.
Okay.
Yes.
I see what you mean.
How many vehicles move from here and get to their destinations? That's not news. It's the one
Accident.
on the road from Kampala to Jinja, where several moved that crashed, that is the news. Who wants to know? Shouldn't we cannot know how many successful weddings happened. The story is that one time when a girl's parents organize a function and the man doesn't turn up, now we have the news. Why? Now,
Who will watch it?
Coming from a theological background, shouldn't be, I mean, it should be good news that things good are happening. But we've tilted the world that bad news is top news. And we are wondering why nations are negative. But that's that profession. But you see, ours is older than theirs. We reported the story of creation before their profession was born. We were reporting creation.
This is now the theologian
Yes, we were
versus
reporting
the journalist.
Yeah, we were reporting creation. We reported the floods. We reported the birth and death of Jesus. We've been reporting a lot of breaking stories. So ours is a much older profession. Although ours reports the positive things.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know if I want to ask you this question anymore.
Please ask.
The question was about the advice you would give to young journalists.
I think yes.
The career you've had.
And many
you are having.
yes, and many talk to me, and I advise them: read a lot, read a lot,
Have your own perspective.
read deeply, and read widely. If you want to cover court, I think you need to study law, because then you'll have an in-depth conversation. I like Dr. Sanjay Gupta. He covers health stories on CNN. He's a doctor. So and for that reason, I don't like to submit to journalism awards, because I'm not a journalist. It's unfair. And very, very serious that it's unfair for a theologian to be submitting for journalism awards. You're not part of that. I take that profession very seriously. When people say I'm a journalist, I say, can you prove to me why you think I am? You put, I mean, is everybody in a hospital a doctor?
No.
No. The media is a medium where theologians come and contribute, doctors contribute, engineers contribute, and we all use this vehicle, even the journalists. I think the journalists should be out there making the decisions, but we also have as theologians something to say. And that's what I love about the media, is that it's a platform for all of us, techies and everybody, to contribute, which is a very good thing. So young people, read. And if you may work hard in this place, in the media, if you don't work hard, you won't get ahead. But as well, be willing to come and contribute to making this noble profession better. Many of you will find me here because I'm going nowhere. I see myself here until my 70th.
20 odd years to go.
Weird as it sounds. And people think I'm joking. I'm going nowhere.
I think it's very much possible. The
It
people
is.
we
I love it
benchmark
more
on.
every day. Yeah.
The people we benchmark on,
Wolf
yeah.
Blitzer is 75 and he's going nowhere anytime soon. But I think see, when you have a generation that throws away phones after 6 months and has never been on a job for 5 years, they think when you are in a job 12 years, you are senior. No, you're not. You're not.
You're not senior news
Yeah, I was
anchor.
offended when my professor in the UK called me young man at 33. I was offended. He said, no. He was in his 70s. He said, I know why you're offended. Because I worked in Cameroon 20 years. But the longer you live here, you realize how young you are. And he was right.
Yeah.
I started running marathons when I saw a 62-year-old in UK running 42 kilometers comfortably. The first time I ran a marathon here, 42 kilometers, a white man, 57, swept over across me and I never saw him again.
Yeah.
At the time I was 42, he was 57, he just left me. Tweka diamangu.
I think that will
Learn to be around. Don't do things you should be be doing in your 60s, in your 20s. Relax. And I think it's also good to say this. Why are young people 21 trying too hard to wonder why they will not see another president? 21! And you think you won't see another president? 21! You'll see several more.
Now you're starting to go to a very uncomfortable angle of everything.
No, I'm just saying.
This is where I need to close it off.
Just have hope.
Yeah.
If you stay alive, Desire, I'm telling you, I've done things for myself and for my family in the last 3-4 years that at 42 seemed improbable.
Yeah.
I still alive.
50 and hopeful.
Yes.
So why are you 22,
Why are you
25
losing
and
hope
not
at
hopeful?
25?
I hear you. And I think, I thought we were closing it, but now that you bring another angle to it,
There's
we can
a lot
have
of
that conversation.
hopelessness.
There is also a bit of where we get to as young people, and I've been victim to that a couple of times, where you feel like I've done it so long, and that is usually 2 or 3 years, and nothing has come of it, so maybe I need to quit it and try something different. Sometimes it is career progression, sometimes it is asset acquisition, sometimes it is a couple of things. So when you speak about putting ourselves on unnecessary pressure and not being patient, I think that's what you're
I started
hinting
building at 45. I still can't understand why a 30-year-old is building.
Why not?
Rent and live everywhere you want.
But we've grown up being told that when you're successful, you
By
have your
who?
own home,
By
you have
who?
your own car.
What you need is to sleep comfortably. You
And
don't need
without
to
a
own the
loan.
facility. You need to sleep comfortably. Desire, it is only in poor Africa where people build homes from savings. In Europe, go all over Europe, everybody builds from banks.
Samson, that's
money.
what we've been trained growing up. Save up some money,
By
buy
people
a
who
car,
don't know better.
save money, and
Buy a car,
build
yes.
a
Enjoy
house.
life. In your 20s and 30s, enjoy life,
By
make
saving
mistakes.
money, that's what I'm saying. We have
Yes.
been told save money so you can buy these things. Don't
And
take
you
up
don't
any
have to.
other-
It doesn't have to be your money. If you build a house around 30, by 45 you'll change it.
After
Money
15 years.
lost. At 30 you're probably living in a place that you can afford, not you want to.
Yeah.
What happens when you get to a place where you've grown in life? Nyumba ya kumenya.
Oh yeah, what you mean is at 30,
Money lost.
You're going to probably build
Rent.
a 3-bedroom house or something like that.
I've lived in Namlonge, I've lived in Mutungo, I've lived in Muyenga, I've lived in, I've lived everywhere I want to live. By the time I settle where I want, you see, I said it somewhere and people think I'm joking. When you don't have enough money, you can rent kororo in a right neighbor for 2 months. By the time you leave that neighborhood, go funyo omulimu. Go take a miezi egi.
Maybe.
No bere kororo. A neighbor mna yanti tunyonya mulimu. Or be a member of the golf club for a year. Or Kampala club for 6 months.
Position yourself.
When you associate, you assimilate, you become part of what you're around. Nebo ogenda mu kanisa. Don't hang around with people who have nothing to do. Tura mu rows ne zirimu abantu. If they don't allow you to sit there, become an usher of that row.
It's funny, but it's true, man.
It's networking. Let nobody tell you anything otherwise. That connection. It is connections. We are going to heaven because we have connections with Jesus. Chine chitu cha connection chirimu ne theology. You know why we are saved? Because of our relationship with God. These things, connections, there is nothing sinful about it. To go anywhere, you have to network in the right spaces. Sadly, and the reason I'm saying it, I got to know late. I hung around too long with chickens. And I should have been with eagles.
And you don't want us, the younger ones.
No, don't make it. You ask yourself every weekend, how many people of note have I been around? You know, you earn a fraction of the people you are, a fraction of the salary of the people you hang around. Obeera otya comfortable nga onoonyeza emitwalo 5 nga mikwano gyo gyonna temuli agikuwola. Ngeri omuntu agenda mu office y'omu naga esse bukwata kalanchi ne bamuwa akakadde. You should be uncomfortable. I'm preaching this gospel deeply. This is why my father took me to Nakasero Primary School, because he said, Nebwono semba mu kibiina, the people in your class, at least ojja kubeera driver. Because you are in the right room. So take your children to a place where children of people are. It's networking.
I hear you.
Kati je nasomera teri alemereddwa.
Yeah.
You lift. My father used to say, in Uganda they say omumpi wakoma wakwata. My father used to say, nedda teri yagala kuleta ddala. Take away omumpi wakoma wakwata. No, it is not true. Hafune ddala.
Find a ladder.
Omuntu wakoma wakwata. True. Eddala we likoma. You take away ddala. Gwe bana baleke bakube gwe take away ddala oli nnyo ga nti nze nkoma wano. It's not a crime.
Samson Kasumba, news anchor, not a journalist. Don't
Yes,
make him
news
a journalist, theologian.
But I also say that no, active theologian. I want to go back for my PhD at some point. But I also want to say I am a deeply loving person and very loyal. Some people who have insulted me a lot have come to my DM, had coffee with me, and they can't believe the person that they find. There's a young man I vividly remember. He came to my DM and asked, how do you do it that I insult you for 2 years? And once you never insult me, I want to meet you and learn that. He's now my friend. I'm mentoring him. Fantastic individual. Sina busungu kuba abavubuka mbategeera. I've been where they are. They know where I am. So I understand them. Bamu abasinga nsaasira basaasire. Kubanga ekirungi ekiriwo mu Uganda muno. ogamba abantu okuvuma omuntu ate bw'ogambye omuvuba ne bagamba waayi gundi yatugambye tukuvume. So try to stay alive. Life is beautiful to live at 50. I'll be 50 in a couple. But I would want everybody to get to this age. Uganda etandise okumpome kati nze obulamu ati bwakatandika okuwooma kati wekiba kikajjo n'akakituuka wano wekitandikira okuwoomera. Yes, it's a beautiful thing to survive youth and its challenges. Then you start to live kati ekyo mmanyi lwaki akikola era kyokola tosobola kunsanga nga njatika n'abaana bato because I know why. I really know why. Now I understand why nayatikanga ne my father nga ndikabuzaga ekirungi mujja kukula.